last week. My hair's a mess. Let me see. Hey guys, give me a sec. Trying to figure out. Computer wasn't reacting. Oh, Nico started a live stream. Hey guys, everyone. Welcome back. Wednesday again. Sorry that last week was a holiday here in Spain, and I was actually with family. Came back home like a minute before the live stream with screaming kids, so it wasn't an option to go live. As always, remember you can ask anything you want, guys, and I'll do my best to answer. Hi, Hal. Hi, Leighton. There's not been much going on lately. I posted the Q&A from Intrepid. Some people didn't actually know that there was going to be more than one video, but there is going to be more. The Q&A was just the easiest to edit, as it was basically one long conversation. And there will be a proper, or I hope a proper, documentary about Intrepid with behind the scenes of how they build them, the space, the different, work areas they have, and how they build an 8x10 and such. There'll be more information on the Enlarger project, and then there'll be basically kind of like a vlog-ish style video of me narrating my trip and how it went, and I'll do myself a little tour of the Intrepid warehouse, because I came to the conclusion that while I was recording, that I was recording different spots, but it didn't really look like a fluent space, and I wanted to give you guys the best look inside. So I just wanted to, I recorded all throughout the space, recording kind of vlog style, showing you guys what each thing was. Thanks, Layton. He says, yes, good video, seems a nice and humble guy. Excellent support. He is very humble, very down to earth. He knows his product, he knows his machines, and he knows what goes wrong because he builds them. So he is very used to seeing what could go wrong. They do inspect, and quality control happens. And actually during the proper documentary, you guys will see a camera that actually wasn't fitting properly. So they take it out of the line, check it out, and repair whatever is needed, and then put it back in the line. So yeah, I came back with a good feeling with them. So it was really nice. Max, hi. Haven't watched in a couple of weeks, and not sure if you're still planning on live streaming whilst working in your darkroom. Yes, I am planning on live streaming from my darkroom. My main problem is my darkroom doesn't have internet yet, so live streaming from my phone with data is an option, but probably not the best one, as I probably would eat all my data halfway through a live stream. I use my phone a lot, so I eat a lot of my data during the month. And but I will live stream. I've invested on a few little ideas to make my darkroom kind of like a Big Brother darkroom. If you guys don't understand what Big Brother I mean, is I'm gonna have a setup in the darkroom with multiple angles and cameras, with multiple monitors, and I'm gonna put a lavalier mic, and I'm gonna narrate what I do, different occasions, different things, why I do them, how I do them, and then edit the video so there's different angles. Sadly, YouTube canceled the multi-camera angle option, which would have been really good, because I could have uploaded the video with 4 cameras and you guys could have choose what angle you like to see, but that's no longer an option, but it would have been pretty fun. But yeah, there will be live streams, there will be a lot of videos in the darkroom. I plan on doing tutorials, explaining how I do things, which might not be the best way, but it'll be the way I do it, help others and beginners. So yeah, that will be coming very soon, just not yet because I'm in the middle of getting it all set up. There's so excited about the Enlarger. Curious if you can support specific enlarging lenses as well as a way to use filters. Okay, so I'll tell you a bit more about the Enlarger. Basically what it is, you turn your camera, your Intrepid or any other Graphlok camera into an Enlarger. It's been done before, but the Intrepid is very lightweight, and the new little invention is going to be an LED with a glass sandwich with special glass, probably Newton glass or anti-Newton glass. And what you're going to do is mount on the front of your camera an enlarger lens. And by that, you will be able to mount those Ilford multi-grade contrast filters. So you will be able to do that. And you can project on the wall, you can project on the floor, you can project on the table with a mini tripod. So it should make 4x5 enlarging easier in the sense of finding equipment, because you already have a camera, you just buy that. The price is going to be extremely affordable. So I don't know if I can say the price, but it's going to be cheap enough that it's fun enough to try and test. The main problem is going to be you're going to really have to try to get everything properly aligned. So whatever your table you're using, you know, you want to have a little mount. Your tripod, you're going to have a little level. So you make everything very flat, because 4x5 enlarging, you need to have everything really, really parallel. So you don't want to have any wonky angles. But apart from that, I'm very excited to see it. And I'll probably support that Kickstarter. I haven't supported any previous Intrepid, not because I didn't want to, but because at the time I didn't have the money. But this enlarger is cheap enough to test it out, and I'll buy it. So I'll let you guys know. Tim says, also can't wait for the 4x5 version 3. Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see it. I should be getting a version 2 at some point soon. There's a big waiting line. And then hopefully I'll get the version 3 to compare. PJ the Jesus, hey guys. Hogarth, hey, nice to see you here. Man, you guys are writing fast. Hal says, I'm going to Canada this Christmas. There will be snow and very low temperature. I don't know my large format lens is going to work in that condition. And what are your thoughts about shooting large format in different weather? Historically, what you used to do, or what people used to do, is when you went to extreme cold, you used to take your lenses to your local mechanic, and they would actually remove the grease from your lens, the mechanism, so your lens would be, let's say, dry, and that way it wouldn't freeze, that grease wouldn't get thick and slow down. And then you would shoot in the cold, come back to your house in normal conditions, go back to the mechanic, and they would lube it again so it would be greasy, you know, greasy enough to work in normal conditions. So unless, I mean, that used to be the extreme cold. So I think you should be fine in low temperature. Just check out when you're shooting, you know, that 1 second looks like a 1 second and half a second looks like half a second. If you see some kind of sluggish delay, take your chances. Remember, film is extremely flexible. If you're shooting 1 second and it's 1.5 seconds, probably won't notice much. And if you do see that, you can stop a little bit more your lens down and you should be fine. Hope that answered your question, Hal. But yeah, in extreme weather, my worst weather condition that I actually dislike a lot is extreme humidity. And that happens to me in Miami, which is where my wife is from. And every time I go to Miami, we're inside the house with AC and low humidity. We go outside, there's high humidity and extreme heat. And well, extreme Miami heat. And it just makes everything fog. And I always think about the fogging inside the lenses, that humidity, you know, is going to end up creating some kind of fungus or whatever. But I'm never long there. And I always, you know, take care of putting my camera out of the room, outside, maybe on a table if I'm going to leave, so I can shoot straight away. When I go out with the kids to play, the same thing. I just go out and I just leave, you know, the camera out before. I will be in Miami in exactly 10 days. No, 9 days. So I'll be trying to record this time over there, because I always go on holidays and I never do anything. But I'll try my best. Analog Adventure Spain says, I saw Ted Forbes' video, The Hidden Light LLC Darkroom in Flagstaff, USA. The prints they make are just stunning. I wonder what price point it would be for, let's say, one complete print for 4x5. Best thing is you write them. And there's a lot of places in the middle of the world that do extremely good 4x5. There's a few in Paris, Spain. There's a few in London and the UK. I don't think you have to send it all the way to Flagstaff to get a great print. Tim says, excellent, thanks for the great info. I'm happy to help. Leighton says, if your lens camera is very, very cold, don't take it out into a warm, humid room. Condensation is a killer. Yeah, exactly. I try to go slowly, but it's just, people in Miami have their AC like it's so cold, like 18 degrees Celsius. I have to wear a sweater inside the house, which that's how cold I feel. How it's in Whistler, Canada. So I just checked the temperature, about 4 degrees Celsius. It's fine. That's not cold. It's 4 lenses. You should be fine. As Lathan says, if it's only -4 in Canada, that's pretty warm. It is. Michael says, hi, Nico. How can I add the link to the chat? I just got a message saying this is not possible. Yeah, there's some kind of like, how do you call it? Firewall for YouTube to prevent spammy messages. So I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm the only one that can post links. So Michael, if you want to send me the link through email or through any other social media, I'll stick it here. Just let me know. Or let us know what you are going to link and we can just Google and stick it. But yeah, no option. I think YouTube has that for trolls to not to, spam messages and emails and websites. But yeah, apart from that, nothing, not much really. I've been on the studio finishing stuff, going for a large format workshop this weekend, and going to be starting a new series hopefully on that. I keep on saying I'm going to start a lot of things, but not doing it. I don't have a lot of time. Spain says they do platinum and can also create negative from digital photo and then do platinum palladium. And I also think they contact print platinum. So if they print 4x5, they digitalize it first. Yeah, that's what most people do when they do alternative printing. What they do is they do shoot and film sometimes in digital, and then they do an inner negative, like on acetate, and print it for the size platinum print you want to do. And that's how they do it. I have a friend here that does that, and I'm really hoping that I can learn from him and I can show you guys. But I know it's not a cheap task, so I'll get there. House says, thanks, Leighton. Nico, I guess I will lug around my camera in the snow freely. Yeah. Just remember to sink your legs in the snow so it doesn't look like they're in and it starts moving. Apart from that, you should be fine. And also, carbon fiber gets really cold in the cold, so wear gloves. Is a link from someone who has made an enlarger with an Intrepid. I'll send you a link through Facebook. Let me open Facebook. Tim says, Intrepid say anything about a Fresnel lens for the 4x5 version 3 by any chance? No, I actually didn't think about asking that. That's a good question. I do know a lot of people have adapted it with Chinese versions. There's a few Chinese, I think it's the Yankee Fresnel or something like that, that you can adapt. At the end, you just put the Fresnel on the ground glass looking towards you. Well, on the side towards you, not between the glass and the camera, because then you would shift focus. And then you just put it with the rings towards the inside and just kind of like cramp it in there. I think Alan Brock or someone like that added it, a Fresnel, and it worked pretty well. I have to yet test it, and I'm waiting for getting my Intrepid so I can show you guys all the little hacks and tricks I recommend. I have a very strong opinion on what I want to do the review about it, because I feel there's a lot of misconception around people buying it or not buying it, and I want to give my point of view. Actually, a viewer, Stuart, sent me an email, a link to a video that had a lot of issues with the camera that I find are not actual issues, but maybe the learning curve from large format. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the Facebook link. Okay, here. Mike sent the link. Let's see. Oh, cool. Someone made like a little box with a diffuser. Yeah, this is basically a great concept. It's going to be basically what Intrepid's going to make. Just Intrepid is going to use a really thin package. If you guys want to see a bit more about the camera, the enlarger, on the news yesterday, I posted a few little clips of it, so you can see how big it's going to be. Let me stick the link that Michael shared. And but yeah, it's pretty small package. How just be sensible. Water and cameras and happy camera. Yeah. The thing is, I mean, if it's snowy and it's very dry, you shouldn't get the camera wet. And but just be careful. How said Yankee Fresnel lens is pretty good. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I want to check out. That's why I asked Max for 4x5 to do reviews on it and camera hacks that I would actually use on the Intrepid to make it a better machine. Given the price, you kind of can play around with it because it's very cheap. But yeah, I'll link this little link that's there. I'll try to stick it later on the description for those that are watching this later. It's always interesting that there's always, you know, people that listen to this as a podcast kind of style. I hope to change the background soon and do them on the studio maybe so you guys can ask more specific questions or stuff around there. But yeah, let me see, close this. Sorry, let me go. Link doesn't work, image may have been deleted. Oh, okay, that worked for me. I think if you Google Intrepid 4x5 as Enlarger, all those words together, Intrepid 4x5 as Enlarger. I think it's there, yeah, and how do you say, Fotrio? Yeah, I'll link to the old APUG, I guess. It's here too. That should open. I do know those guys watching on a phone can't open these links, but yeah, if you do that, you can quickly click and say Intrepid 4x5 as Enlarger, and that should open. Guy, the user is called BHUIJ, and this is on APUG, which is now called Fotrio. I can't say that. APUG. Okay. That doesn't work either. Okay, great. Well, I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to Google it or Safari search or something. Thanks, BX, for letting us know that it works on Google. But yeah, what else would be there? I'm starting to develop, and I have only developed in my darkroom. I don't know if you guys followed on Instagram and such, but my darkroom still has a fair amount of dust and stuff, even though I clean it every time I go. There's always dust from the construction. And I've been developing and shooting random shots and rolls and old stuff, and still have a lot to go, but soon I should be getting to the proper rewards and shipping them. But considering I leave for holidays, Christmas holidays, or, you know, yeah, Christmas holidays, I'll have to wait till after that to do it. Do you have any names, Analog Adventures asking, do you have any names for darkroom labs that do special print methods? The reason I ask, I'm doing a project that ends in a gallery showing in June, so I have time to go crazy with cool stuff. There's a few that I know. There's one in Spain, Carbon Print Spain. The wet print. There's this one called Stain, thewetprint.com, everything in there. So thewetprint.com. And this guy is supposedly a master on carbon transfer, carbon printing. He can do color, he can do, I mean, everything, I feel. So let me see if I can find how to give you guys the website. And this guy will do carbon print. So same thing. You can go straight from negative to carbon print, or you can go digital scan and then do carbon print. He's got a video, which is amazing. I know Stuart, which sometimes joins us here, has gotten a print from him, and he says it's amazing. And that's something I would say. Apart from that, platinum printing, there's probably a few studios around Europe. You can do, I can't say it now. Cyanotypes, that's pretty simple. Van Dyke, you can do all kinds of things. Layton says, boil a kettle and steam up the room. Helps to remove dust. Same principle as bathrooms have no dust. The humidity removes the dust particles. Yeah, the darkroom is actually pretty cold, so because there's no heating. So what I do is when I turn on the Jobo and I have it running for color, it's at 35, 37. So it kind of steams up a lot in there because the temperature inside the darkroom is around 14, 15 degrees, depends on the heating. And so far that's been working. I just want to kind of like not put my best work to hang yet till I think the dust is, you know, down to a minimum. But I will try the kettle maybe. I do have a dehumidifier running when I'm not in it, so that should kind of move and filter the air, as it has a filter which I clean. But yeah, it'll end up clean soon enough. But thank you for that. I do know the bathroom trick. That's actually the very normal trick for when you're going to develop in your bathroom and you want dust kept to the minimum. Analog Adventure, I have a few follow-up questions. I'm going to buy the Intrepid 4x5 for this project starting late January. To get it in time, do you think I need to buy it now? No, you can't get it now to get it in January. He's giving the cameras, he's shipping cameras 4x5s with around 8 to 12 week delivery time. So 12 weeks is 3 months. So Spain, you're probably better off finding someone to lend you a camera or asking Max, but I don't think he'll cut you in line. I'm telling you, I was there like a month ago and I told him I wanted one, but I couldn't just pick one up because they were sold and it wasn't my turn to pick one up. So yeah, if you want it by late January, we are in mid-December, that would be around 6 weeks. You probably won't get it in time. Plus, remember they have to build 400 8x10s and they're building them, but that's going to take them a lot of time. I think you're better off writing them and asking about delivery times, but my guess is you wouldn't be getting it in less than 3 months. Question number 2, do you think it's a good method to shoot everything in doubles so that if I send a negative to Spain, it's not that dangerous? Well, shooting in doubles is something that a lot of people do. You probably watched Ben Horn, he shoots doubles and other people do. And there's a few reasons for it. First one, if you develop yourself, you always develop one sheet of the double, see if there's any problem. Maybe your developer is old, or maybe your timing or temperature wasn't perfect for the negative you made, and you can correct it. Maybe your shutter didn't work, something. Shooting doubles has a lot of benefits. Apart from what you're saying, if you're shipping a negative, I mean, things get lost, of course, but I think things are pretty okay, and if you send with tracking, you should be okay. But yeah, shooting double is never a bad idea. When I'm shooting medium format with portraits, I shoot a whole roll per portrait. If I'm shooting 4x5, I usually shoot 2 shots per shot. Sometimes I change something a little bit, sometimes I don't. Sometimes focus, sometimes exposure. Maybe I do one a little bit one way, one the other way, and see which one looks better. But yeah, I'm not concerned about losing a negative I ship it. I mean, it can happen, but it's probably very hard for that. Just then ship it with the tracking. Oh, sorry guys for the pen. It's me fidgeting. I don't need to read that out. Sorry, I'll stop it with that. My wife had a pen here. Also thinking of that, people can make mistakes. The labs are human, not robots. Yeah, the labs are human. You always can get some negatives ruined or things like that. But do shoot doubles. 4x5, yeah. And also, I've had problems opening light leaks and no worries, Leighton, my bad. Sorry for that. I always forget the microphone picks up those clickety clicks really loud, and I don't have headphones, so I can't hear it. It just makes me weird because there's a little lag, so I hear myself 3 seconds later. But yeah, shoot doubles. That's all I can say. 4x5. And if you want to do something crazy for an exhibit, you can do carbon printing. Is amazing, 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 amazing. Platinum printing is amazing too. It has a different texture to it. I think if you're looking, for example, for more artistic view, platinum is very nice because the rag in the paper will show that texture, kind of like the Ilford Art 3000, that one that looks like eggshell. If you print on carbon transfer, depends on when you end up on, it won't have that much texture in the sense of the paper. You can print it on tiles, you can print it on fixed old paper, RC paper, and stuff like that. And it will show that 3D look because it actually has texture, but it's not the texture in the paper, it's the texture from the carbon, because as the carbon is printed onto fixed in a gelatin, you can see the different layers of where the emulsion has been removed, and there's actually a difference in thickness in your print. So you can almost, when it's humid, it's amazing because you look at it humid and you can really see all the bumps. When it dries, it's a little flatter, but still looks very nice. But yeah, I would shoot doubles. Let me see. Okay, sorry, I thought maybe there was more links on Facebook. No, no more links there. Any other questions, guys? Also, I develop, okay, let me see. Spain said something. I'll say something about the Mamiya later. Spain says, follow up on the 3 months wait for Intrepid. Is there a lightweight 4x5 I can look for other than graphics? I know of them, so I'll look at those, but would love to have another brand in the mix. Lightweight 4x5s, you've got Chamonix, which I have a few. I highly recommend them. If you need more information in Spain, let me know. I can help you with it. I represent them in Spain, and so if you need any kind of assistance, let me know. You have Shenhao, which is pretty much a very similar camera, a bit more bulky and a bit more industrial finishes. You have Ebony, which is expensive as hell and nowadays really hard to find. You have Vista with a W-I-S-A, well, W-I-S-T-A. Vista Field is very nice camera. You have Toyo has cameras. Horseman has cameras. There's a few different options that are pretty lightweight. I mean, extremely lightweight. Not so many, but those would be good options to start looking. Look around Europe, and you'll find something. It won't be 250 pounds, but you can find something. Analog Adventure, you should have contacted me. Just sold my Intrepid to buy a Pelican case for the Horseman 4x5. Also, yeah, they're not 250, 350 euros. You will have to look for finding a 4x5 in that price range. Also, you can choose to contact, there's an Intrepid group on Facebook, and you can just click, hey guys, I need a camera in a month. I can't wait those 3 months or 2 months and a half or 2 months that they take. Can someone is willing to let go of his, and maybe you'll find someone that will. You don't see a lot of for sale because they're very cheap and people tend to hold on to them. But you might ask and someone might be willing. How, as he said, just sold his. So that's, you know, a big bummer that you didn't manage to get it. I should have done a live stream last week and you would have bought it. The camo green. Have you used the Can-Ham? No, I have not used the Can-Ham. I've actually never had one in my hands. I'm very interested in trying one. And I actually interviewed Keith Can-Ham at Photokina last year. And I found him to be an extremely humble and nice person. But I very much screwed up the audio. And that's why I was very worried about my Intrepid video. And basically, it's a bunch of noise. But I haven't used it. I would love to own the DLC 4x5 or the 8x10 field camera, the wooden one. They just look so nice. Maybe one day. I do plan to go visit him in, I think he's in Arizona, and doing a documentary there. But that will have to wait probably a little bit till I can do such a trip. Yeah, the Can-Ham wooden 4x5s and 5x7s look so cool. Pretty expensive. They are pricey, but they're well made. I mean, it's kind of like an ebony, but American version ebony in the style of camera and quality and such. They're made by hand, by him and his son, sometimes helping. And a small man operation usually ends up being an expensive operation. Plus, you know, special wood, nice wood, all that is just adds up. But I think everyone that has a Can-Ham likes them. It does have a quirks. You can like it. Some people don't like the knobs. They're not round. They're like flat little knobs, so you can twist and lock. Some people don't like certain things, but as always, each camera has a thing. There's not a camera that's perfect for everyone. Analog Adventure says, sorry, how too bad. Thanks for the info, Nico. I guess I will have to spend Christmas searching on eBay several hours per day. I'm telling you, go to the Facebook group and ask. Someone's gonna probably let you use theirs. Maybe you can just ask them to, you know, send it to you, use it for a while, and then send it back or rent it. But yeah, I would also start by writing Max and asking him, like, you know, January, the end of January, I need it. What are my options? Can I get it in time? Can I not? Maybe they're producing faster. I do know they were gonna get more people. And maybe they're going faster at the moment because they had that big 8x10 amount of cameras to build. But yeah, I was gonna say, the other day, I've been showing this on the live streams a little bit, and I have this Mamiya Super 23, and I shot the 100 2.8, and I developed the other day. And this camera has an extreme problem with back focus, even though it's being calibrated. So I'll hopefully share more results with you guys as soon as possible. Hey, George, he did tell me you got some. When the 8x10 holders will be done. I think they're gonna kind of leave at the same time. There was no film holders in the workshop when I was there. They had been sent somewhere to, they outsourced, I think, the darkening or the painting or the staining, something like that. But I think they're going to be building them pretty much at the same time. His time frame to deliver the 8x10 cameras was kind of like the last ones would ship late January. So my guess is the film holders shouldn't be much later than maybe beginning of February if they are holding up on them. I can't give you more information. I'm sure if you ask Max, he'll let you know. He actually wanted to contact you, George, for something else. So I don't know if he has. I know he's very busy. I know you're very busy too. So I don't know. I would write him up and see when those are going to be made, because it's actually something we talked about them, but we didn't talk about delivery times. But I think they've sold a fair amount of them, and they have a few to make, but they should be shipping probably with cameras, because a lot of people bought the camera holder combo. So they should be at the same time. So probably the end of the year, which is now, and January. But yeah, so yeah, I have a problem with back focus on this, and they're lending me the ground glass so I can shoot. I had a video plan with this handheld 6x9 at 2.8, but it's not going to be possible as the lens is very much not in focus when you think it's in focus. So that's a pretty big bummer. It's a pretty fun camera to use. I want to make a first impressions because it's kind of a beast, and it's kind of sad I can't shoot it handheld with this lens. I'm gonna see if I can get the other lenses and shoot maybe the 50 and such, which by the depth of field you don't really have to focus much. As soon as I get to develop a bit more and try some different things. But yeah, any other questions you guys might have, let me know. TB photo, okay, late to the party, occupied with schoolwork. Oh, Mamiya press, nice. Yeah, it's nice, but everything's out of focus. So I have to figure out a way to fix it myself or send it to get fixed, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's not mine, it's a friend's. But he's had it shipped to get fixed, calibrated basically, like 3 times with all the lenses he's gonna use. And I think it's still not accurately calibrated, so that's a big problem. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting a camera like this, do make sure that the rangefinder and the lens are matching and working really well, because if not, you're going to get a lot of rolls with no focus. And this is eating 6x9 shots, so you're getting 8 shots per roll. And that's kind of a big bummer. Negative feedback says, Can-Am makes beautiful cameras, camel green. Yeah, George got a DLC again, a 4x5. And that's what's made me want to have one again. I've always looked at the Can-Am, thinking about it, and now seeing you guys using it, you and Sean, makes me want to have one, even though I have enough 4x5s. What do you think? Why is Tom Sawyer? What do you think? Why is the early Hasselblad H series so a mystery? I don't know. I actually don't have much idea about the Hasselblad H series. The beginning, I guess, the transition from the Hasselblad made to the Fuji, because the H is basically a Fuji camera, and you know, moving into digital hybrid cameras, you know, all this, probably that's why. I can't tell you much because actually I don't know much about it, Tom, so sorry. Negative says, negative feedback, I've used the 8x10 traditional, which is lovely. Yeah, I'm sure, I think it's Jack that has it in Brighton. I was tempted to write him, visit him, but I didn't have the time when I was there. But yeah, the traditional looks really nice. That's the one I would get if I would get an 8x10 from him. I still have to get an 8x10 field camera, as my CNR is not a fun thing to move around, but I will move it around because I want to shoot some architecture. Let me see. Analog Adventure. Are there several versions of that camera? Polaroid 600 SE and some other brand, starting with K something. The Mamiya Press came in different ones. There's the Mamiya Universal, the Press, the Super 23. There's the Polaroid 600 SE was a collaboration. And actually, the Polaroid has a different mount. So all the lenses that work on the Polaroid won't work on the Mamiya and vice versa. So that's how it goes. And it only shoots Polaroids. This Mamiya, you can add a Polaroid back or a film back. So that's one of those things. BX, noob question. I usually shoot 35 and want to try other formats. Quite intimidated by large format, to be honest. Worth going medium first. It really depends on what you're going to shoot. I mean, I think some people just go straight to large because that gives you an added benefits, but it also gives you a lot of added problems. If you're going to shoot static subjects or people that you can stop and shoot properly, if you want movements, if you want depth of field control and such, go large format. If you want to shoot something on a budget and you want to, you know, start with film and scanning and such, just go medium format. That's what I would say. Negative feedback says it has a bit of a nicer ground glass than my Chamonix, and it's a bit faster to fold out since you don't screw out the front standard. I'm not complaining, but the price difference. I'm not complaining with the price difference though. No, of course. I had a Wehman, and that kind of folded very fast and very small, and it was a plexiglass ground glass, and it actually worked really well. So I understand. I know. I mean, not all cameras are perfect, like you say. Each one doesn't fit each other. And the ground glass, I haven't tested the 8x10, and I haven't tested the Can-Ham, so I can't tell you. But I'm pretty happy with my Chamonix. I do remember my Ebony having an amazing ground glass, but thankfully that's been a long time since I had it, so I can't really remember how good it was. I'm actually going to be using an Ebony on Saturday, and that's going to probably screw me up a little bit. But yeah, they're all pretty much nice cameras. Tim says, apart from a Hasselblad, any SLR style 6x6 cameras around? I like the Mamiya 645, but I think I'd like 6x6 format a bit more. You've got the Norita, how do you say that? Norita, which is pretty rare and expensive because it has an 80 f2. You have the Pentacon 6, basically the Kiev style one. You have the Kiev 88, which is the cheap looking version of a Hasselblad. You have the Bronica SQ, the SQA, SQB. You have the Bronica S, the Bronica S2, the Bronica EC, Hasselblad. Mamiya never made a 6x6 SLR, and I don't know why. I would have loved to see it because I love Mamiya as a brand and you know, their thoughts and their ways of doing things. But yeah, I don't know of any other cameras at the moment. Negative feedback, they're both nice black boxes that you put lenses at one end of the day. Yeah, they are just black boxes. That's actually something I kind of show at the workshops. At the end, it's all about the lens you put in front and what you put in front of your lens. Pretty much every camera can do great work. That's what I was saying about Intrepid before. It's a cheap camera with a lot of good for it because of the price and a lot of bad because you have to take a bit more time to control things. But knowing what you're doing, it's basically that. It's a black box with a lens on the front and a back on the, you know, film in the back, and whatever you're shooting, you're gonna get good results if you know what you're doing. Just you have to know a bit more what you're doing, I feel, with a cheaper camera when it doesn't have so many controls and, you know, clickety clicks and securities and such, but it's very good. Tim says, was that way more than I thought? Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. There's more stuff. Yeah, the RZ and RB have 6x6 backs. That's something I forgot. Two Stones, thank you for that. And Hao says, I do have a 6x6 back for my RZ, and I probably will do some kind of feature of that. I've been wanting to do an RZ video for a while, but I'm gonna have to wait till I come back. Tim says, oh cool, I didn't know that either. It just, I mean, the whole purpose of a 6x6 sometimes is a smaller body, and the Mamiya 6x7 systems, the RZ and the RB, are exactly the opposite of small. So they're pretty big and bulky because they're actually 7x7 cameras. So, you know, they shoot 7x7, and actually the Mamiya RB will shoot 6x8. So I guess they're 8x8 cameras. So that's why they're so big. And then the bellows and such. But yeah, it's my favorite camera by far. I actually was using mine today at the studio, and I really like it. It is heavy, but it's a great system. Then thinking about more, a 6x6, yeah. Pentax is 6.7. Yeah, those are about all the ones I can think. Then you got TLRs, but those are twin lens reflex. Yeah, those are the ones I can think of right now. But if you want to go into 6x6 for very affordable, go for Bronica. Bronica's SQ, they're plastic and they're small as, oh, also the Rolleiflex SL66. They're really small, the Bronicas, and they're cheap lenses and they're pretty good lenses. And it's a great system to start off and stay there sometimes if you like it. Skipper says, was just wondering if you have ever done moving image before. Are you open to and will do cinematic in the future? Anything cinematic? You mean moving image as in film, like using film to shoot? Or you mean cinematic in the sense of video? I think my videos are pretty borderline okay-ish. I'm not the best at editing. I don't understand color grading. I barely understand audio. Yeah, film. I guess I will try one day. I do have a few Super 8 cameras. I'm waiting. I guess I'm waiting for a miracle, and I can afford shooting Super 8 and editing Super 8. I've been tempted so many times of buying a 16, Super 16 camera, but I just know it's the price of the film, the developing, scanning is crazy expensive. Like 3 minutes out of a Super 8, and I don't know how many minutes out of 16. I would love to. I just don't see myself doing something like that. Plus, I think I'm telling you, not so good at editing. And if I would want to shoot film for movies or smaller short videos and what, I would have to learn, I feel, a lot more. And learning is hard when I don't have a lot of time. But I do want to do some of my photo stories. I want to try to shoot them on film. And not so much because I like film and I shoot film, but mostly because I want to kind of make each photo story rewards and stuff like that based on what the company I'm going to visit makes. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I went to Intrepid and I shot their cameras, large format. I'm planning a different trip and it's a film factory, and I will be shooting their film for the rewards and for the videos and such. If I ever go record someone that makes Super 8 or 16, I hope to shoot it on 16 or 8 for that. But I'm very scared of it because I don't know how to do it. Tom, would you like to make some studio flash photography work on film with a flash meter without a digital camera for the test results? I shoot flash in studio with film. I've shot, actually, sorry guys. This is 8x10 Polaroid originals, Impossible. This is still labeled as Impossible somewhere, or maybe not. No, not labeled. But this is Impossible 8x10, and this is flash. I mean, it has one huge flash popped to their side. This is a light leak. Ignore that. That was me messing up my film. But this is flash on film, and I can make a video on it. It's very simple. At the end, you just meter and pop your flash. The thing is, you can't see if you're giving some weird shadows unless you shoot one and check it out. And this takes 45 minutes to develop, so it's not like you can just wait there and change lights as you go. But yeah, I can do a video. I will be doing some studio videos. I'll be shooting a lot in the studio. I'm planning on doing a lot of 8x10 work. I'm buying some 11x14 film this Christmas, and I will be doing some of that ultra large format videos and such. Brett says, hey Nico, I'm a college student about to graduate in the US. I'm looking to buy a variable contrast enlarger. Any suggestions for good enlargers that can do up to 4x5? In the US, I would say go with Omega, Chromega, like the watches, they have extremely affordable enlargers in the US. It's the D4, D5, D3, I think also. LPL are really good. Durst, which is spelled D-U-R-S-T, German. No, sorry, Italian. Italian? Yeah, I think it's Italian. Really good enlargers. I think the Durst are the Laborator. I always say things so wrong. Then you have the Devere, D-E-V-E-R-E, are also very good. The 4x5 one is called 504, I think. And yeah, that should get you started searching. You are better off, Brett, going into Facebook. There's a group called The Darkroom, and join it and do wanted to buy 4x5. Also check Craigslist's. Check eBay, garage sales, photo schools and associations that maybe have them already. You don't have to buy one. Yeah, check it out. Tim says, I'll have to check, but I think I found a place that will develop and scan 8mm for $30 or so. Friend of mine has an old crappy 8mm camera that was going to do some Tri-X and Vision 3 over my holiday. Yeah, that would be cheap. 30 is pretty good. How? Something happened. Your message got retracted. It's so strange. I would love to do Super 8. I just have to find when to buy it. Maybe I'll buy it this Christmas. A few little reels. TV photo. Speaking of 6x6, I think I saw the most modified Hasselblad 500 CM ever last week. It belonged to a photographer, Leonard Nilsson, and was mounted on an electron microscope, so macro on steroids. That sounds awesome. I've been wanting to do macro, get a macro setup for a series of videos I want to make, and I just don't know how to do it. I want to be able to film through a microscope. So if you guys have any hints, please let me know. I want to try to save money while I do it, not spend money. Jacob, hi. Nice to see you. Leighton says, Brett, if you're in the UK base, there's a secondhand darkroom.co.uk. Great way to overdo the link. Yeah, in the UK, and they ship worldwide, secondhand darkroom. Also, if you want to buy new, you can afford it. You've got Kienzle makes them new, and a few other people still make them new. Heyland still does some stuff new, and you know, stuff like that. Tom Sawyer, thank you for your answer. I'm looking forward to seeing that video about film flash photography. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I want to learn more. There's a photographer here. They used to shoot film, of course, because it was the only option. They used to master film flash photography. I've seen his results with Pentax in the studio and models, and it's mind-blowing. And I want to see if I can somehow intern a few days a week with him and learn everything I can, because he does have the top of the top equipment, but he also has the top of the top knowledge about it. And I want to learn as much as possible. Hopefully I'll be able to digest it and share with you guys. Leighton cannot post the link direct. Yeah, no, that's a great way. You guys just have to space it out. I just need to fix some typo. Okay, no worries. Jacob, what type of enlarger for 4x5 are you using? I'm using a Devere 8x10, and now in the studio there's a Durst Laborator 1200, I think is the name. Yeah, 1200. And then there's a small 6x9 that we put the other day. I don't even know what brand it is, but I think it's Durst too. But yeah, that's what I'm using. I use the 8x10 for everything, 8x10 to 35. Brett, thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to spending lots of time in the dark in my apartment. Yeah, that's something that my wife always says to people when I'm in the darkroom, like, where's your husband? In the darkroom. And everyone looks at her weird. I guess we should find a different name for it, or just not say it, because it just sounds weird nowadays. Jacob says, I saw your episode about the darkroom, but there was no reference to the enlargers. Sorry, Jacob. I will be doing a very in detail video on the Darkroom probably soon. The other day, the one that I was like the studio tour was a quickish tour of it. So I hope I can make something a bit more calm and detailed with machines. Might try to make it live stream too another day so you guys can ask, because I'll be speaking, but maybe you see something I don't see and you ask, I know, what loop you use or what easel you use or how do you do that. So I'll try to make one version of what I think will be the best, and then I'll do a live stream so you guys can ask all the questions you want. And I'll go very slowly so you guys can have time to digest and see. JKL, for your macro project, I saw original adapter for Canon FD mount to a microscope. That's what I need. That's what I use, macro FD, Canon FD lenses for my videos. Leighton says, people are like, you have a darkroom, why? Yeah, supposedly darkrooms are also places for men to have fun with other men. At least here in Spain, that's what they call them. And I guess some people think twice when my wife says that I'm in the darkroom. But yeah, people do look at you weird, even if they know what it is. Okay, guys, there's 4 more minutes. So any last minute questions, if you've been holding on to, let me know. If not, you always can send me a message through social media and I'll answer as best I can. Jacob says, good idea with the live streaming. Yeah, I want to get this set up for the live streaming ready. And I need to get internet for the studio so I can do it properly. I've been testing the scanners. I scanned some 8x10s, which I should try to upload to the Flickr group. Let me tag that because maybe you guys want to join. It's very, let's say, it's slow there right now, but I would love to see more activity there, share work and discussions. I try to go once every few days and check you guys out and see what you guys are talking about. But yeah, Flickr group if you want to talk. I've been thinking of doing a Facebook group, but I don't know. Facebook just ends up being such a clutter. And then Facebook decides what's the best algorithm for the information you post, and then you don't see information. I don't like it. Tom Sawyer says, can you recommend me an option for a developing tank for 2 or more medium format rolls? Those are so hard to find things on eBay, but everybody has those. I mean, not the Jobo, for Jobo CPE. I honestly recommend Jobo tanks, even if you don't have the Jobo machine. And for the only reason I do recommend it, if you don't have one, is if you ever grow in more tanks or bigger tanks, the Jobos are modular. So you can buy a smaller tank and then buy an extension and then the extension tube. And you can make a 2 roll tank into a bigger tank, and then you can make it into a bigger tank. And if you ever buy a machine, you have the tanks already. So it kind of grows. If you go the Patterson way, which is a very popular and not bad option, the thing is every time you want to get a bigger tank, you have to buy a bigger tank. If you buy a Jobo one day, you can't use your Patterson tanks. So I think Jobo is priced very similar to Patterson, and I like the option that they're flexible like that. I have all Jobo, so I have one Patterson tank that I just show people like this is a Patterson tank, and then we move on to Jobo. For macro, TB Photo says I have the Mamiya 80 macro for 645 recommended. I have a macro lens, but I want to go extremely macro. I mean, not 1:1, but like 21. Jacob, forget Jobo for medium format. Go for Patterson. Jacob has a different opinion, and that's understandable. Lathan, I think the problem there is Flickr is dying. I keep getting spammed by women on negotiable affection. I'm not impressed. I'm mostly using Instagram. I use Instagram. It's just the conversations there tend to dilute, you know? Like someone asks you something, you answer, and then that's it. And it's like, I don't like the way, and then if you get a lot of answers, which I don't get that popular, but if you do get a lot of answers, you can't check them because there's like, I don't know, 50 likes and answers they can save. After that, it's, you know, nothing. So I think there's so much potential for Instagram, but they're still not doing it right for, you know, community. It's, yeah, show off, like, picture, like one little comment, great work, that's it. There's no real conversation there, and I don't like that. Flickr had a bit more conversation, and I liked it. I think, you know, someone said, are we ready for the next thing? I think I'm ready for the next thing. How is crowded nowadays? Too, people starting to go to 500 px. Never liked the 500. I don't know. Jacob says, agree with Nico with Jobo, but it's a pain in the if you're using changing bag. I love Jobo for 135, but hate it for medium format. I have no problem loading film on the Jobos, thanks. But I always keep an extra reel or two for when sometimes they don't want to go in, and then I change to a different reel, and it works perfectly. But yeah, guys, 10 o'clock. I'm going to have to go to sleep. Great to have you guys. Thank you so much for all your questions and the conversation here. I will be back next week. No issues next week. No holidays or anything. And yeah, thank you. Let me answer. Tim says, what about manually developing large format in a Jobo? I use a Patterson Mod 54 for that now. You can use the small tank. I don't know the name of the small tank. I use the old names and they changed them. And the 2509N reel, and it works great for 6 rolls, but it does use a bit more chemistry maybe than the Patterson. They're there. But yeah, thanks guys. Good night, and for those that are in nighttime, and see you next week. And always remember, you can send me questions during the week through my social media. Bye.